The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Marcus Aurelius. This system is about to be flipped upside down. Please keep your friends and family aware. Like, subscribe, share these videos. Please remember that I am not a financial advisor. This video is for entertainment purposes only.
And we know that this year is a year where Asia takes on 50% of the global GDP. Asia has 50% of also the global population.
The dollar is the world reserve currency, meaning every nation prices their natural resources in dollars. Exports are often priced in dollars. Money is a measurement and representation of the GDP. The gross domestic product, or the goods a nation produces, is the nation's wealth. The pool of goods is decreasing in size while the dollar supply is increasing. What keeps the dollar stable is the demand for dollars by other nations because it's the reserve currency. Who is benefiting from expanding debt? Only the United States, yet the globe is funding it. My question is, how long is this going to last? The US has a major advantage and the leaders of the US are exploiting the privilege. Asia produced 50% of GDP, yet needs to be traded in dollars. All nations are increasing their debt by exponents to try to manipulate the amount of goods that they receive with their depreciating dollars. It's a race to the bottom and currency is going bad. Today we have digital assets. I believe digital assets is how the governments of the world will weasel their way out of the problems that they have created.
Just not the opportunity to have that proper discussion, nor is an opportunity to really develop this in a way that I think is consistent with American values. And the dollar exists as the world's reserve currency for many, many reasons. But one of those, or several of those, are the values inherent in it of a free society. And are we not going to bring those same values to bear in the future of money? If we don't, we may find the dollar is no longer the reserve currency because those values are not present in it. We might find that values of maybe closed societies become more dominant in the future of money. And I don't think that's in either the US or the globe's interest.
Blockchain technology allows real value to be hosted and transacted on the web. It's literally like having cash or an asset of value on the web. By tokenizing assets, this opens the door for new innovations to integrate with these tokens such as DeFi. I can lend assets in a trustless manner and earn interest on my assets without the need for a bank or a lawyer. We're at a new age of innovation where we can swap assets of equal value without the need of a reserve currency. This technology has the power to eliminate frictions that can be measured in trillions of dollars. What would that do for the global economy if we freed trillions of dollars in friction?
The fourth area is technologies for good, and the fifth is global cooperation. How can we create a multilateral system which is more inclusive, which is adapted to the needs of the 21st century? I would call it the multilateral system 4.0.
Multilateralism is when nations work together for a common goal. Klaus states that the fourth area is technology for good. Inclusive technology meaning including, like including the world. That is precisely what crypto offers, is inclusiveness. It allows everyone in the world to participate. This Multilateralism 4.0, I believe, is an initiative by the G20 to update the legacy system to the next-gen financial system where everyone can participate. The World Economic Forum, the IMF, the UN, these organizations are multilateral in nature. Reminder, Ripple can be found as a partner on the World Economic Forum's website. Ripple is a partner with the IMF via the Bali FinTech agenda. And there is documentation saying UNOPS used Ripple in a proof of concept. UNOPS is a UN organization.
We tend to take our economic strength a bit for granted in the same way we've taken our infrastructure for granted. And I don't know whether it's a lack of maturity or a self-absorption in our society, but this lack of attention to infrastructure modernization is really going to come to haunt us. And it's shortchanging future generations that we don't take it more seriously. And the time has come that we have to take it more seriously. And there's no infrastructure more foundational to our economy than our currency itself.
Central bank digital currencies are coming. This is a new monetary tool that will enable central banks to have deep negative interest rates. The innovation crypto offers will integrate with these updated systems of CBDC.
however cool crypto is, you still got to pay your student loans, right? You got to pay your taxes. You need to be able to finance your education, buy a car. I mean, there are things you have to do. And right now, you really can't do that in crypto because of this need to exit your investment asset into a bank account so that you can go use your credit card. That'll change. It may not change next year, but it'll change in 10 years. And what we're trying to do is to envision that world where you have a fully integrated crypto economy that doesn't have to have a clunky connection with the old world.
The bull market is here and gains are asymmetrical, meaning some coins may yield a return while others stay flat. We may want to sell when a coin is high and buy when a coin is low, but as we buy and sell, we will need to pay capital gains tax. iTrust offers trading within IRAs that insulate your gains from taxes. There is an article on iTrust's webpage, How to Retire Early from Crypto. The article states that macro investors and prominent institutions are allocating a percentage of retirement funds into crypto. The dot-com bubble had winners and losers just like the crypto bubble will have. I urge everyone to read the article and do your due diligence on IRAs. There is a tremendous amount of benefits. Check out the link below.
We know that the Biden administration has already announced that they will be re-entering into the Paris Agreement. I guess that will happen during the inauguration speech on Wednesday. On COVID, President-elect has also strongly underlined the importance of wearing a mask, but also rolling out the vaccination and also collaboration.
For every drop of oil that is pumped out of the ground, it is priced in dollars. To buy oil, a nation needs dollars to purchase that oil. The Paris Agreement is an agreement to reduce the need for fossil fuels. Less demand for oil means less is being pumped out of the ground and therefore less oil backing dollars. I believe green energy initiatives is an attempt to dethrone the dollar.
On the trade issue, there will be necessary to really enhance global trade again, to really accelerate economic growth, to really come back as soon as possible to the pre-COVID level when it comes to the global GDP. Trade plays a very important role.
The pandemic shut down economies and nothing was being produced. Now we are in desperate need to speed production and get the global economy moving again. With distributed ledgers, we are able to breathe life into trade by reducing the red tape. Cheaper and faster trade will counteract inflation.
That doesn't mean that all the trade challenges in the world will be solved overnight. There are still issues between the G2, and there is also then very interesting in the coming months to see if WTO will again get executive director here in Geneva.
The G2 is the group of two, that is China and the United States. I believe the issues that we have with China surrounds the dollar dominance. I believe that the solution to the trade war is crypto assets.
Talking about whether these two actions by the FinCEN and OCC are coordinated, or whether it's part of a master plan, I would say they're both coordinated and uncoordinated, because so much of what happens is tone from the top. And I think we had a very different tone from the top at OCC as compared to other regulators. And so there's some degree of coordination here, but also some of it is a legacy of old intellectual and regulatory frameworks being challenged by new technological innovation. And we're in the early innings of how that's going to resolve itself.
Chris Giancarlo says that regulations are coming from the top. The G7 has already decided to regulate crypto. There is going to be an agreement and the regulators within the US will listen to presidential orders.
Here is it gives banks a role as nodes on networks and says you can not only use the bank monopoly networks, you can use the open networks to send value. Now that will open up a world. Remember, just a moment ago, I was talking about imagine a world where nobody ever has to download into or downshift fiat. It will open up a world where you will have people who have investment assets in cryptocurrencies, and when they're ready to make a payment, they will shift some of that into a stable coin, and their bank can transact the stable coin without ever leaving blockchain. And everything can happen inside of the network without ever having to downshift into the old technology. That's what that letter was all about, which is really huge. And for those of you who read my op-ed yesterday in the Financial Times about decentralized finance, ultimately what that suggests is that banking itself, the act of lending and paying interest and other things, may become algorithmic itself, but that'll be a lot easier when stablecoins become the price stable unit of exchange within the crypto economy.
The world is about to change and everything of value will be hosted on the web. Debt and inflation is going to continue, however, the efficiencies will counteract the loss of purchasing power. We will innovate out of the problems that we create. Decentralized finance is a way to earn interest in depreciating currencies. I believe banks will be custodians of crypto assets and our valuables will be hosted on blockchains that will earn us interest. But when we spend, it will move towards a depreciating stablecoin or CBDC. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. If you enjoy my work, please consider joining my Patreon. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Please remember to hit the bell for notifications.